Well, Markus, welcome back to Mexico. How do you feel to come back once again?
Yeah, I'm really. Anytime I get to play here in Mexico, especially Mexico City, I'm really happy. I've said this many times, but on all my social media, the largest number of fans come from the country of Mexico, and the city of Mexico City is the biggest collection of fans in the world for me. So I'm really always grateful to come here and play. They're very passionate, very loyal, and very active. So I'm really happy when I'm able to come here to Mexico City and play.
What do you think is so special about the Mexican crowd?
What's so special about the crowd? You know what? It's just first of all, they have passion. They have passion for the music. They are really, it's like they enjoy the music. A lot of cities in the world, the fans are they're kind of jaded, because every weekend they get a different DJ in. There's like big DJs playing every single night, and they kind of get spoiled. Where here in Mexico, I think the fans really appreciate when a DJ comes to town. It's an event, and they really appreciate when a DJ comes to town.
How would you describe one day in Markus Schulz life?
Oh wow, it's it's crazy because I do so many different things. So every day it's I wake up and it's like, hey, what are we doing today? It could be a weekday when it's like I wake up and I go into the studio and work. A weekend where I wake up and I'm traveling, doing shows. So I think that a day in the life of Markus Schulz can be kind of crazy, rewarding at the same time, and a lot of fun because I'm doing so many different things that I really love doing. Like I said, whether it be studio, traveling, or doing the shows.
You recently released your album, Scream.
Yeah.
What is that moment that you decide you have to make a new album?
Well, no, it wasn't a moment that I decided to make a new album. I'm always active in the studio, and when you have enough tracks together, you've made enough tracks, all of a sudden you look in your computer in a folder, here's a bunch of tracks that you've kind of put together over the last 6 months, and you start visualizing how these tracks can work together in an album. And that's what kind of happened. When Do You Dream finished, I started working more on the Dakota tracks, some more underground clubby stuff, but at the same time I started thinking about the next Markus Schulz album, because the Markus Schulz album is a little different than the Dakota album. Markus Schulz albums are more vocals, a little bit more for the big room festivals, big themes, and the Dakota stuff is maybe a little bit more deeper for the clubs. I had already been kind of planning and visualizing in my head the next Markus Schulz album, even when I was working on the last Dakota album, right after I finished the Do You Dream album.
Your sound will evolve in the future, because nowadays I think we have a big boom of sounds of DJs.
Yeah. No, you know what? Where I think my vision for the Scream album was, I wanted every track to be a track that I could play in my festival sets, in a big arena or a big club. I wanted every track to be working my DJ sets. I think that's the biggest difference between the previous albums. Sometimes I made a few chill out tracks, and those chill out tracks obviously you don't work in the live sets. But this album I really wanted to kind of like every track to work in my DJ sets. So I think maybe that's the future. I don't know. Maybe I'll get the itch to do some more chill out stuff, some more listening type stuff. That's always a possibility. I think the big thing is, as an artist, you just want room to grow. You want room to experiment. You want room to do different ideas. I mean, the Scream album is not like the album that is going to be the future of all Markus Schulz sounds. I think the Scream album is a chapter in my career.
What do you, if you would make a blueprint of the electronic scene in America, how would you describe it? How do you feel about it?
Oh, it's amazing because it's a younger, new generation in the United States right now. It's a lot of youth, which along with it brings a lot of new excitement, new ideas, new passion. You know, it's kind of cool when you playing in a club like Avalon, for example, and you know, you get up on stage and you can see it in people's eyes. You know, people that are there for the first time, they're just like looking around and just like, wow, you know. And to me, that's really cool because I remember I still remember the first time I walked into a club and just looking around going, oh my God, this is incredible, you know? So the one thing about the scene in the United States right now is you see a lot of that, people coming in and they're just like blown away with what's going on. And that's, like I said, I think it's exciting because it brings new passion, new energy, and new ideas into the scene.
What do you think is going to be the challenge for the DJs and producers? Because recently, for example, Pioneer released a new CDJ that is really
I saw
polemic,
that.
No?
I think.
What do you think is going to be the challenge?
Well, you know what? Technology is going to keep growing, and it's going to make doing all kinds of things, not just music, but all kinds of art more easy. Whether it be Photoshop and in the computers, everybody said that's the end of art as we know it. To now, you've got CDJs that supposedly link together or sync together. But I think the true art is in the mind and what you do with it. I mean, so the technology is easier to do this stuff, okay? But you know, there's a certain soul, a certain touch that you can put that you put into it. You know, I think we've all seen, if we take the analogy with pictures, I think we've all seen pictures that somebody has made on the computer that have touched your soul, that you look at and you're just like, oh my God, you know, it's incredible. And you know what? Anybody has access to the same software, same computer that person who made that amazing picture has access to. But there's a certain soul the person put into it. There's a certain touch. And I think that's the thing with DJing. I think that, you know, there's many different types of DJs out there. You know, there's some DJs that have kind of made a hit record and then they go on tour and they promote, you know, they go on tour because of this hit record. But at the end of the day, you know, maybe they don't have that touch. They just play their hit songs and then that's it. You know, I still come from a generation of like true DJs. My favorite is to play 10-hour sets where you really are able to take the crowd on a journey. You're directing the whole night, you know, and I think ideally those are the kind of things that will kind of, the cream rises to the top, you know, and hopefully those are the kind of things that inspire and people kind of strive to achieve in this industry or in the DJ scene. Well, you know what? I think the old regime kind of paved the way for me. Guys like Danny Tenaglia, you know, I mentioned him a lot, but I remember being out on the dance floor in 2001 at Winter Music Conference Space in Miami, and Danny Tenaglia was up in the DJ booth, and it was just like, the vibe was awesome, you know, it was just like, wow. And I think that's, you know, my biggest inspiration has always been Danny Tenaglia and kind of what he achieved back then. He's kind of like the DJ's DJ, you know, the DJ that all the other DJs kind of look up to and like, you know, look for inspiration. So maybe, hopefully that maybe in the future I'm able to give some of the new generation some inspiration through, you know, my vision of what I do.
And what would be your advice to those you inspire?
My advice is to follow your heart, you know. There's nothing that could probably ruin your career quicker than if you just go and you chase something. Then you become famous because you did something that you really didn't want to do, and then you wind up burning out. You know, you're seeing that a lot. There's a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of guys that are in the scene right now are burning out because they're not really into the music that they're playing or the music that they're producing, and so they're tired, they're burnt out. You know, and I think if you follow your heart, if you do the music that you truly believe in, then you know when you make it, it's rewarding, and you're in it for the long run. I mean, take a look at the DJs that have been around for the last 10 years. All of them love what they do. All of them have passion for what they do. So I think that's the most important thing is for the young DJs to find what it is that is in your heart.
And what would be the message for the Mexican crowd?
Oh, well, the Mexican crowd. I mean, thank you guys so much for all your support. You guys have been absolutely incredible to me with all your love. So please just keep going and thank you so much.